Hey guys, well it's Sunday, March 16th, and it's 3 weeks since Dawn crashed. I wanted to give you an update on how she's doing health-wise, and I thought I'd also take this opportunity to show you a little bit more of what happened that day. So it was 3 weeks ago plus 2 days. So today's Sunday. It was 3 weeks ago since just a couple days ago, Friday. And she was on this trail. This is Santa Ana Trail, the Santa Ana River behind us. A lot of us in Southern California ride this periodically. She probably rides this more than I do, but still, I don't know how much she rode it. And this is the fateful spot that she crashed. It's a little busy with people right now. So she was coming this way, heading north, and you can see that there's a little bit of a jog in the trail, not much. And during the day, you would never miss this. And even at night, my understanding, she had her light on. Most likely wouldn't have missed it, but as all of us know, when we ride, there's opportunities to get distracted. Maybe you look at your phone briefly, check your miles, your battery level, and you can miss something like this. And there's this part of the river bed. Let me change the view here a little bit. Is covered with these rocks embedded in this cement. So here's one relative to my hand, nice and sharp, and you can see all of this condition here on the side of the riverbed. Now, some people have commented that this looks nefarious. Why do they put all these dangerous rocks here on the side of the river? Well, in this section of the LA, all the rivers in Los Angeles are kind of like this. The further up towards the mountains you go, they're kind of semi-natural, and then eventually they turn into complete cement rivers, which I'm sure you guys have seen my videos and videos in the movies. It just looks like it's a canal, cement canal. But up further away from suburbia, it looks like this. And basically, this is erosion control. They put all these rough rocks in here to slow down the water, because on a big winter storm, that's when we get the rain around here, sometimes these rivers can literally be almost to where I'm standing, and the water is just moving. So all this rough surface on the sides of the river is there to kind of slow the water down. So it's not been placed here to injure people, of course. Now you can see maybe that clearly there used to be something here. I don't know if it on other sections, like there's fencing, so this could have been a fence post, but I don't see any evidence of that. I think there used to be reflectors here along this section, to safety reflectors, obviously, to keep people aware that, hey, there's a little jog in the path coming up, be careful. So they were all gone. So she was just riding straight, missed it, and went off right here. Let me add a little video I just shot of me riding the X-Way seated at about a little over 30 miles per hour, and you get a sense of how fast she was going when she approached this. Okay, so you can see that, 30 plus miles an hour. We were told she was going maybe 35. Obviously, it's hard to tell, but knowing Dawn at night, and they were going on a long ride. So yeah, they were going between 30 and 35. So I would say 30 would be a minimum speed for Dawn, and it's pretty bad. I'm going to switch cameras right now. I'm going to switch to another camera with a different lens, and that's going to remove any distortion that this camera is providing, because this camera makes everything look small. So the camera I'm going to shoot with next will give you the perspective that you would see if you were physically here, and then I'm going to walk down there and show you what it's like. Okay guys, here we are approaching this end, and I'm gonna walk down here, and as I walk down here, imagine hitting all this at 30 plus miles per hour. She was seated. It really is just horrific to me. I don't know, I just don't like thinking about it, how awful this must have been. So that's it. Came from up there. You just imagine, just flew off the wheel. Body, what probably was like a rag doll, just hitting all these rocks. Oh, that's some flowers someone left for for Dawn. They were thinking of Dawn. It's a very nice thought. I think the wheel ended up around, well, I think the wheel actually, she was ended up around here, and the wheel was in the water here. Yeah, just this, to me, this is the worst case scenario of a crash, because not only are you going off, that's probably 15 to 20 feet high at high speed. So she was in the air for a little bit, landing out all this just jagged, horrible rocks. Many of this stuff is just sharp. If you were to touch this, it's like sandpaper. It's like 40 grit sandpaper. Just awful. Okay, guys. Well, now that you've seen the disaster, I just want to recap the whole sequence of events and her health up to this moment. Again, 3 weeks plus 2 days since this accident. So it occurred Friday night, February 21st. She was riding with one other person, Ellen. They were on a long distance ride that day. I don't know what they were exactly trying to achieve, but it was about 120 miles. That was the goal. And they had stopped for some food to recharge the wheels, so the wheels are fully charged. And they continued on the way. This occurred at about 93 miles into the ride. So they only had, I guess, 25 miles more to go on the day. And it was at night, of course. I think it was 9-10 o'clock at night, something like that. And apparently she had her light on. She uses a Sofern light, one of these, a bunch of us have these. They're like, the daylight. you turn that thing on and it feels like you got sunlight all around you. So she was using that. She was riding her EX30. It's one of her favorite wheels, long distance wheel. She loves that wheel. And again, going between 30 and 35 miles per hour. And she came to that bend and just flew off it. So she, Dawn, she's fully geared up, fortunately. So she did suffer head injuries. Thank God for the helmet, but there was internal bleeding inside the skull. But that, of course, got better. Both lungs were collapsed. She didn't break any of her legs, fortunately. Maybe it was luck, I don't know. But when all this happened, you can just imagine. It just all of a sudden you're in the air, right? And then you're hitting, and your arms are flailing. So her arms are what really got damaged, plus all the internal. Again, in my head, going through this, I'm picturing her as a rag doll, just hitting all this stuff. So internal injuries, definitely had liver damage, both lungs collapsed. She broke her arms, shoulders. Let's see, I guess one elbow and forearm was shattered, and it looks like one of her shoulders was shattered. And no broken ribs. So this happened, of course, bad trauma, 911. Again, only Alan was here, and he hasn't really been forthcoming about what all happened. I don't know, he just doesn't want to talk about it, I guess. It was a traumatic episode for him, I can imagine. So maybe, hopefully, months from now, when we're all eating lunch at Mount Baldy and can laugh about it, which hopefully we will be at some point, he can tell us the full story. And Dawn probably won't remember any of it. But she was kept in a medically induced coma, basically heavy sedatives, for 2 weeks. And she was on a ventilator. Guys, when your lungs collapse, it can actually take months, from what I've read, depending on the severity, to recover. Just thinking about that. But anyway, she was on a ventilator for a couple weeks. She had her first operation to repair the elbow and the forearm, and apparently that went good. I don't believe at this point she's had the shoulder operation, and unfortunately the shoulder operation is a shoulder replacement. That's what we've been told. A replacement. That's how shattered everything must have been. Again, I just can't imagine. So last week, the third week, just a handful of days ago, she was taken off the ventilator. The level of sedation's been reduced. I'm under the impression right now, as of Sunday, she's probably not under much sedation at all. We don't really have good details. Alan's the only person that's been allowed near her, and her sister and her mother have been primarily her caretakers. Of course, she's still in the hospital. As of a couple days ago, the feeding tube was removed, and she's been able to eat a little bit. Apparently she loves applesauce. A little bit. She's able to sit up a little bit, and she's been able to take a few steps, assisted steps. You can imagine them just kind of holding her. When you're recovering from bad injuries, they want to get you moving as soon as possible. But apparently she's not communicating, and she's struggling. She's agitated. I mean, she was in basically a coma for 2+ weeks, ventilator, being fed through a tube. I'm thinking her, basically we don't know if she's had brain damage. I'm just hoping not. All the x-rays, MRIs look good. I don't know what happened when the lungs collapsed, if she lost oxygen. I don't know. I'm thinking positive, and I'm just thinking she's in a brain fog, and she's extreme low energy. You know, when I broke my ankle, which is obviously nothing compared to this, but I badly broke my ankle, and for the first week before I had my operation, I was in bed, and it was a struggle to get up and to move. I felt so weak. The body is funneling all of its energy away from the extremities and into the areas which need to be fixed. And she had internal organ injuries, lung injuries, all the broken bones. I can just imagine how extremely weak she probably is. And again, the brain fog from being asleep for, you know how if you ever sleep for 10 hours, how you feel in the morning, you know, just times that by 100, right? But it's basically, as of a couple days ago, she's kind of up. She's more or less awake as much as she can be awake. And I guess she's going to be eating on her own now. So I see that as really, really good news. And I'm optimistic for the future. Again, it's been 3 weeks. I think it's just going to take time. Again, she's not communicating. I think when she finally can kind of communicate and have her wits about her, she's going to ask for her phone or a phone, and I'm sure she'll once it happens, she'll connect up and hopefully reach out to some of her friends. I really miss Dawn, and I really look forward to talking to her and someday laughing about this whole experience. Because all you can do, guys, you just you hope you can laugh all about it in the future, and all these injuries go away. But I think it's going to be a long haul. But let's hope for some even more and more positive news in the upcoming days and weeks. And there is a GoFundMe account set up for her, which has exceeded what Roger set up for her, which is amazing. That money's been turned over to her sister. I've tried to stay away from the socials, from the negative comments I've heard and briefly seen about regarding Dawn. Look, Dawn is not wealthy. I've heard some crazy statements. She's not YouTube rich. She's got a tiny channel that she was starting to build up. I'd be surprised if she was making a couple $100 a month. I'd be surprised if that's what she was making from YouTube. No, she was struggling. She's a recently divorced mother, small child, just got a house that she could barely afford. This money, the medical bills, I'm sure are well over $1 million, how they're billed by insurance. I think that's all she's got basically Obamacare in the United States. So the major part of it, I don't think she's gonna have to worry about, but it's all the little things that you need for medical that is not gonna be covered. Her home care, food, mortgage, a lot of bills. So this money is gonna really, really help her out. She's just gonna be blown away when she sees what the community has done. So if you do feel like donating some money, see the link below. I tell people, even if it's $5, a lot of $5 donations adds up to some real money. So if you haven't donated, think about it. She'd really appreciate it. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Pray for her to get better, and really looking forward to some good news. Safe riding, guys.